Good morning, my crafty friends. This is Ida of Created to Create. Welcome back to my channel. Yesterday, I shared with you guys my new collection by Carnation Crafts, and I did have a chance to play with it last night. So I want to share with you guys what I created, but I also want to share with you. I printed out the sleigh also in the pink. Look at how gorgeous that is. I haven't cut it out, but this is gorgeous. Even by looking at the white parts on here, to the naked eye, it looks like fur. It's really, really pretty. So I want to share with y'all the card that I created. Although I did use a set of the older dies, which are the poinsettias, and I did share those with you guys because I had my friend Carolyn um, change the color for me to match the special edition. So these are the poinsettias, but originally they do come in the blue, so I printed them out and I used them. And here's a little bit a sampling of it. You get the pine cones, then you get the berries, and that same, like if it has snow in it, then you get smaller pine cones. And these are actually layered up. This one's layered up, and so is the berries. So you get to layer them up. And I did cut up some of the other elements from the new collection, like you get a string of lights in the blues, whatever color you want to print them in. Like I said, there's several colors. I'm working with the blues. You guys know that I love blue. And here are the lanterns that you can hang on the sleigh. I didn't use these, but I did go ahead and cut them out. And then these are just like the hooks to hang the lanterns on. You can see right there what they look like. They're just little hooks to hang those lanterns on. I think that you would have to, what I would do if I was going to use these, I would actually cut one out, and I would put a piece of acetate and then put another one in the back in the light blue to kind of match, to camouflage the backing of it. But I would use a piece of very firm acetate, the one that comes in packaging when you buy products or toys or anything. That's what I would use to firm that, because it's so delicate. But there is a way around that. And then here are some of the blue gifts. I used two of them in my project, but there are some of the gifts. And so I want to share with you what my project looks like. Now, I talked to you guys about a mechanism that was like dimensional tape on steroids. This is the mechanism already put together. I didn't use this one because the paper was really thin that I used to cut it out. I used the scraps from the artwork, and they just weren't strong enough for me. And so I went ahead and cut it out in 120-pound cardstock. But what this does is you glue your image to one and then the backing to whatever you're adding it to. And when you pull it, your whatever you did would stand out, and then you would be able to close it. But when I go to close this one, it's just not sliding right because the paper was too thin. So I decided not to do that, but it'll close back down for mailing. So this is what I was talking about, that portion that's dimensional tape on steroids, because you get an inch and a half, an inch and 3/4, maybe even 2 inches away from the card. So here is the card that I created. Look at how gorgeous that is. I went with the blue sleigh and the reindeer that's all decked out in blue, and he does have a blue hue to the fur and all that as well. I added that glue that I use on everything that to me is equivalent to stickles. I used that on here, and I think my friend Carolyn gifted me that, and I use it every year, and you can tell right there that I'm starting to really go through it, so I'm gonna have to order another bottle of it. But it hasn't dried out or anything, and I use it all the time, guys. So I added, here are the poinsettias. Look at how gorgeous they are, with the dimensional pine cone, dimensional poinsettias, and for a little pop of color, I added the red diamond dots in the bigger and the smaller poinsettia. All these are all decoupaged. And then this white strip that they are glued onto is a snowbank I use both the ones I cut out, so I can't show it with you. But there is like a snow bank that comes with this artwork, also the die. So I cut out both of them, and I use one in the back. That's where I use the acetate that's really, really hard, because I needed it to be able to stand and not, I didn't want my paper to bend or anything. So I added first I did a snowbank, and then I added a piece of acetate, and I glued it to the back of the reindeer's feet. And then in the front, I added a strip of double-sided tape, and then I added the snowbank to the front of his feet to make him really, really sturdy, because this does something really, truly amazing to me. Like the construction, the engineering of this mechanism is on point, let me tell you. Anyway, I added the berries and the hollies, and you get different sizes. Like you get a bigger holly, and then you get the smaller one. I used the smaller one here, but I used the big poinsettia over here. I mean, but I could have used that, but I didn't want to. I think the little one, a bigger on one side and smaller on the side for me, looks good. And you can only see a little bit of the snowbank, not too much of it. And I stickled up his fur. The plaque here, there is artwork for it, and it does come in blue, but I felt it was just too much blue, so I chose to break that up with some silver foil paper, as well as behind the sleigh, there is, I also have the silver foil paper, metallic foil, to just break it up. Here are the gifts right behind there, and for the sleigh, I did take a ball tool to all of those cushion, puffy sections there to ball it out. So it's not straight. It actually does, have that pin cushion look. And I added the diamond dots to there. And I did add a light blue layer, first my main base in white. And I did emboss that with a snowflake embossing folder. Then I added a blue layer, and then the metallic silver, and then the sleigh, because I wanted the silver to shine through that open filigree work. Now, this die to me is massive. Look, there's my hand. You could definitely make a smaller gift bag out of this sleigh. And in fact, I think I'm going to do that, but maybe with the pink one. Because I know I can turn that into a gift bag. Imagine a beautiful gift bag with, and to have this sleigh in the front and back. That would be gorgeous, you guys. Just absolutely gorgeous. So I think I'm going to do that to show you how you can use these dies for more than just cards. And you guys know how we do. It's still wet. The stickles are still wet, so I'm being careful. But I put his name, and these name plates also come in the blue. But like I said, I felt that there was already a lot of blue going on, so I did it in the grayish color to bring in that silver. And then I used two little blue crystals on it's got two little points right there, two little dots. So I felt like they were just begging for a crystal, so I gave it to it. Gorgeous. I think this is gorgeous. Let me show you the back. I did emboss the back. Look how big that is. That will make a really nice gift bag. So this one is a tent fold, which means it folds on top. And in the UK, and I've started doing that as well, they actually do a score line, and then they add, that's where they glue the point, but they do the score line to the back one, not to the front one. That way you can still open it up without creasing anything on the front. So I do have a sentiment in this one. This is actually fully completed. And I added, here's the inside, because there were scratches on it. I just embossed it and you can't even tell. But it says, may the true spirit of Christmas shine in your heart and light your path. And this is a penny black Christmas stamp. And I did add decorative paper inside in a very pale blue to match what was going on in the front. But this is what I want to show you. He Remember I said he could stand proud? There is that mechanism in action. Look at that. You get about, I'm going to say about 2 inches where he can stand up in front of the sleigh. And if you would put Santa there, Santa would do the same thing. But not only can you use it for this, you can use it for any of your dies. And the mechanism can go the long way, the way I have it, horizontal or vertical or horizontal. So it can go any way that you want. The only thing I would do different, I would have, the next one, I'm going to do it in a coordinating paper, but a heavyweight paper, so it's not so stark white. But if I was to give this to someone, they could display it standing up like that, and Santa or the reindeer, and we have all the names to the reindeer in this collection, would be standing forward. And I'm going to close it so you guys can see what it would look like displayed. Or let me see. That's what it would look like displayed, but you would be able to see that it's away from the actual sleigh. Guys, this, if you don't buy anything from Carnation Craft, this is a must. Right now it's out of stock. But when it comes back in stock, guess what? I'm picking up 2 more because eventually my one is going to wear out. So I want to have, you know, spares for whenever that happens, because I've never seen anything like this. No one has ever come up with anything like this. And so if this is something that you think you would like, definitely hop on over there. You do have to print out on specialty paper. You know, you do have to have a printer that will take heavyweight paper. Not all printers do it. And to be quite honest, the printer I have sometimes gives me a lot of trouble, but that's the printer I get the best printing on. That's my friend Jackie. Best printing on. And so I'm going to stick with it, but sometimes it does give me problems. She's sending me pictures of her work. Yes. She just got in her Anna Griffin stuff. Anyway, guys, this is what I wanted to share with y'all. But if I were using Santa, here's the blue Santa. I cut him out so you guys could see. There is the blue one, and here is the special edition color one. If you would like a darker face Santa, you could definitely take a Copic marker and make him more brown if you would prefer a brown one. But I'm okay with the way it comes, because to me this is just whimsical. That's all there is to it, and I love the way it looks. I wouldn't change anything on him. Now these pieces do have dimensional pieces that go to it, but I haven't put them on. They're actually right here. And here's one of my snowbanks, my little one. This one I cut apart. But he has his gloves are dimensional, and the bottom of his glove right there. So this portion would go here with dimensional glue or tape. I use glue. And then here is his mitten. So he would have dimension, and he would be holding, whether it be his staff, he could hold the lantern or the naughty or nice list or anything like that. But look at how gorgeous they are. So this is what I wanted to share with you guys. That's all I wanted to share with y'all, because I thought that this mechanism is just taking our crafting to the next level. And see, the thing with this, when you're going to ship it, even though this is not flat, but all I have to do is press down in the center. And I want to be gentle, because you know you don't want it to mess up, but you press down on it. It's being a little stubborn today. Don't you know when you record it has to act up? Let me see. The bottom one is being a little stubborn. There it goes. But it lays completely flat. So there it is. So, I mean, you might have to work with it a little bit. I wasn't having any trouble yesterday. No, there it is. See? You can just lift it up and push it down. I'm just a little gentle with my things, but it does go straight back down for you to ship it. And then when the recipient gets it, then they can pull that out and display it. But even flat like this, it it is absolutely gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Anyway, guys, that is all that I had to share with y'all this morning. I like to share my dies cut out so you guys can see what they really are going to look like. But in this case, I just was dying to play with Rudolph. Also, another thing, if you decide to get this, I have seen where the Carnation Craft does the displays for this. And when they're putting it together, they'll put their reindeer or whatever they're putting to be level with the bottom of the card. I don't like that because what happens is when they stand it up and pull out the mechanism, their feet are up in the air. And I didn't like that. So what I did was I opened my card and I stood it up. I stood it up and then I added the mechanism because I positioned my reindeer. I positioned the feet of the reindeer to be where I wanted them to be, and then I glued this portion on. That way when the recipient opens it, his feet are not floating up and sticking up in the air like that. They're actually on the table or wherever you're using it. I thought that like I said, I did see them use this and I didn't like the way the feet were up in the air, but I knew that it was just a positioning issue, that if I, moved it down, opened it, and then added my mechanism, I could put the feet to my reindeer or Santa or whatever right where I wanted them to be, and then I glued it in place. But what happens is when you do close it, what happens when you close it, see the stickles are still wet, is that this portion is lower, as you can see there, than the card base, but that's the way it has to be if you want it to look nice or correct when you open it up. So that's my tip as far as the mechanism goes. And this portion here, this plate here, is actually designed to cover that mechanism if you use it horizontal the way I did. But if you use it vertical, then your whatever you use would cover that up. On the reindeer, I cut it out in the artwork, and then I cut it out again just in 110-pound cardstock, and I glued them together for stability. Because if I'm taking the trouble to create something like this, to use my ink, to use my good paper, to spend time creating this, I'm going to make sure that it is going to be sturdy and it's not going to bend the first time somebody takes it out of the box or the envelope. I would definitely make a box for this. This deserves a box, and it deserves a box with a clear acetate window in the front so they can see what's in it. And it is just gorgeous, you guys. And you could add pockets if you wanted to add a gift card. If you send family members that don't live close to you a gift card or something, you could definitely add a pocket inside if you wanted to. But I just left mine this way because I think it is gorgeous, 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 just with the artwork. Thanks for watching. I hope everyone has a great day. And so sorry about all this stuff, but I am working on different projects for other companies, and of course for myself. I have to take time and do what I love to do. So this is what I love to do. Carnation Craft is not paying me for this. This is something that I purchased on my own because I love their dies and the artwork. Anyway, guys, I'm going to stop talking now. Thanks for watching. I hope everyone has a great day, and God bless. Bye.